Hello everybody and welcome to I have no idea what I'm doing. We are going to be making a Roblox game. There's going to be a bunch of my fun ideas all smudged together. So enjoy. Well, it's looking pretty empty in here. Let's spice it up with some ground. Well, that's some good ground. Am I right or am I right? So now the only logical next step inside the game is to make a trampoline. Hear me out, trampolines are fun, so logically adding it to my game would make it more fun. I know, perfect logic, but how would I ever go about making this? Well, with code of course. So basically, what this code does is detect when the trampoline gets touched, then checks if it is touching a player's feet, and if the parent contains a humanoid root part, or sometimes shortened to HRP. Now I need to make the player's fat ass actually move. To this, we're going to instance a body velocity, and I know it is deprecated, and I'm going to set fire to an orphanage if you so in the comments. We're going to slide this body velocity as a child of the HRP and set the velocity parameter. Though if we keep this how it is right now, the player will just start levitating into the air. So we're going to use the debris service to get rid of it after 0.3 seconds. The only other part I haven't mentioned is the fact we check for other body velocities just to make sure that the player isn't going to start getting flung at Mach 10. Just like that, I have ruined viewer attention. What a joy it is to be a content creator in the big 2025. Alright, we are now in the game. The trampoline is here. Boing, boing. This is peak cinema. This is peak cinema. This is literally the best game ever. The best ever. So currently, I am seeing not much of anything really. So we're going to spice it up a bit with some new visuals for my map in my game.
One eternity later.
Alright, I'm now done with that. We got some trees here, some nice benches here, and also some flowers. We even got a house. I know, it just gets better. So it gets better. Look in here, we got lamps and a painting. That's live. Don't take my word for it, take the paintings. Maybe I outdid myself here. My next groundbreaking idea is to make currency. That's right, baby, you're busting out good old sharps and good old-fashioned economics and breaking into an era of economic stability. What's the currency called? How about goobers? I'm planning for these to display in the bottom left of your screen. I haven't actually figured out a way of getting goobers yet, so I'll just make it so if you bounce on a trampoline, you get some for right now. Sure sounds like a good job to me. The question still remains, how did I go about making this currency? Well, you see, I used the data store service and leader stats to create the system. First, I used leader stats to make it easier, and then also so you could flex your money on your friends. The data store service is most scripters' worst nightmare, though in my general opinion, it really isn't that hard to understand. So I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability. So basically, what's going on in this code is we first detect when they join, then we set up a scoreboard for easy access to the money variable. Next in the script, we get the player's user ID and use something called a P call. This helps make it so if the player doesn't have saved data, but doesn't completely halt the script, and we can deal with the situation accordingly. Although if it does succeed, we set their money according to the data. But how do we set this when the player leaves? If we look down here, we can see we use player removing to detect when they leave. Then we save their data accordingly using the set async method, which is really just fancy for here's the data Roblox. We also wrap this in a P call, but this isn't required. It's just a formality. Alright, we are now in the game. And we also see that we added a little counter in the bottom left here that we've spoken about before, just updating the text to local script. Let's go, it works. Let's see if the saving works, though. Let me in. Okay. It does not work. I am going to cry. So, that was unexpected and unscripted. So, now I need to actually find out a way to fix this now. I love my life.
One eternity later.
Alright, everybody, I think I fixed the problem. Basically, I was overwriting the data store variable, so I was just running functions that did not exist, which is a little bit stupid, but it should work now, and that's the good news. Let's test this out. Alright, and let's see. It works! Yippee! This is a monumental moment. Code working? I've never seen this ever before. Wow. Oh, cool. New background. I was getting sick of that old one. So, we need a better way of getting money that isn't just jumping on a trampoline. For Devlog, I'll just make one NPC, since this is the first Devlog and is mostly just for the setup and game feel. This NPC will be a florist who collects flowers. You would pick up the flowers off the ground and give it to the florist. Shouldn't be too hard to make. I'm going to start with the collection of the flowers. It wasn't that hard to create. I created a flower manager script that just instances flowers in a finite area. Then I added a script to make it work and a proximity prompt for click detection. I added some blurb to make it cooler too. Hello everybody, and this is the flower grabbing so far. You can see only a certain number of flowers can spawn at a time in this area. You can see we got all different. We got orange flowers, we got red flowers, we got blue flowers, we got... Do I have all the flower? Yeah, I got all the flower types. But yeah, I think it's pretty nice. I also made this pretty cool florist model. I think it looks nice. I used Roblox's built-in dialogue system to make it because it's pretty nice. Except the fact you need to make a local script to detect it. That's right, I had to make a local script which only runs on a client to detect this. I had to make a remote event which basically speaks between the client and the server. Most of my less technical viewers are probably very confused right now. I also made it detect if they don't have any flowers, but now it's done. Alright everybody, and welcome to the final product. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and please subscribe, it helps out a lot. You can pick up some flowers, sell them to the florist for money, got the trampoline here, and you can talk to this guy. And sell some flowers to him. Of course, we got a little Easter egg in here. Now, finally, for the end of the video, I'll reveal one final secret, y'all. You can move that. You can move that and that. It's a really big secret. I didn't want to. Goodbye, everybody, and have a good day.